Back in the day, there was always contention. So many answers without proper convention. They got together after false declarations. Began the creation of the order of operations. Parentheses to start, exponents the next part. Multiplication and division, left to right is smart. Add subtract is next, left to right is best. Now you've done the equation and your teacher's impressed. Parentheses to start, exponents the next part. Multiplication and division, left to right is smart. Add subtract is next, left to right is best. Now you've done the equation and your teacher's impressed. Parentheses to start, exponents the next part. Multiplication and division, left to right is smart. Add subtract is next, left to right is best. Now you've done the equation and your teacher's impressed.
Alrighty, guys. How was that song? Kind of exciting, or yay, nay, thumbs up, thumbs down? Let me know what you think about that one. Let's see if I can get myself back here. There we are. So right now we're going to take a look and we're going to review our problems that we solved yesterday. For the most part, they looked really good, but we still had some confusion about how we were supposed to go and solve these equations. So let's take a look. Remember, P stands for parentheses. The E stands for exponents. And the M and the D, multiplication, division. And remember, multiplication and division goes left to right. That's the direction. Addition and subtraction, again, goes left to right. So let's look at this first problem here. I'm going to change my color, make us red. So let's start out parentheses. Let's find our parentheses. Our parentheses are 11 minus 2. So we're going to start by solving that. 11 minus 2 is 9. So I'm going to drop everything else down now. I'm going to have 8 times 9 plus 6 squared. I just took care of my parentheses. The next thing I need to do on the list is my exponents. I have 6 squared. Well, 6 squared is the same thing as 6. It's the same thing as 6 times 6. And that gives me 36. Now, don't be afraid to use your calculators, guys. The calculators are going to help us make sure we have accurate numbers. And I'm going to drop down my 9 now because I solved my exponent times 8. So now I have 8 times 9 plus 36. Took care of my exponents. Multiplication and division is my next thing. I happen to have some multiplication in this problem. It's 8 times 9. So 8 times 9, let's see, I couldn't remember what that is. I'm going to get out my calculator and I'm going to go 8 times 9 equals, oh, it's 72. All right. So I'm going to put my calculator away. I'm going to write in the number 72. And I'm going to add that to 36. Now, if you're good with numbers, you can add it off the top of your head, but let's say you don't quite know off the top of your head what it is. Again, take out your calculators and go 72 plus 36. 108 was the answer. Many of you got that one right. but there were quite a few of us who got that one wrong as well. All right, so let's look at our next problem. Our next problem we had was 35 minus 3 in parentheses. That's divided by 4 plus 6 squared. So that was our next problem that we had on our worksheet. So let's see if we can solve that one. Get my color here. All right, so let's start. Again, we're going to start with our parentheses. We have 35 minus 3. Well, 35 minus 3 is 32. So, and then I'm going to check. Do I have any more parentheses? Nope. I'm going to cross off my parentheses. I already did that one. Then I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem so I know exactly where I'm at. This is what I want you guys writing down. I know it's a lot of writing, but write down each step so you can make sure that you're accurately calculating things. Our next step is to figure out our exponent. We have an exponent of 6 squared. Now remember, the 6 tells us the number we're multiplying, and the 2 tells us how many times we're multiplying that. So in this case, we're going 6 times 6. Oh, let's redo that. 6 times 6. It's not working. 6 times 6 is 36. Otherwise, if you're using your scientific calculator, you can go 6 square root button. It's that XY button, or Nike, push the wrong button. The 6 squared button automatically squared it to 36. So you have a couple different options. You can use a scientific calculator to figure that out, or you can just go 6 times 6 because we know the exponent is telling us to multiply 6 times itself. And I'm going to write everything down here, plus 4, I'm just kind of writing backwards, divided by 32. All right, I took care of my exponents. Multiplication and division from left to right, remember. So here I have 32 divided by 4. Now, if I don't know that answer off the top of my head, I'm going to just double check. Maybe I think I know the answer, but I don't really know the answer. So I'm going to go ahead, move this off to the side here, and I'm going to type in 32 divided by 4 gives me 8. So I know the number I'm looking for is 8 plus 36. And once again, to get my total, I'm going to use my calculator, and I'm going to say 8 plus 36. And the answer to that problem was 44. 44. All right, so here's another problem that was on our let me get my mouse pointer here. That was on our worksheet from yesterday. We had 57 minus 3 squared, that's all in parentheses, divided by 4 minus 2 in parentheses. So remember, when we're looking at PEMDAS, the P stands for parentheses. So we need to solve everything that's in parentheses first. Doesn't matter which set I do, I could start over here and I know 4 minus 2 is going to be 2. And then I can solve over here. I can do, can't really do 3 squared until I figure out what 3 squared is. So I'm going to get out my calculator. I'm going to type in 3. I'm going to use my squared button, squared, and that is 9. Now I'm going to keep my parentheses because I still have a problem in there. So make sure you do this step when you're writing down. Don't try to do it all at once because we get our numbers mixed up and we lose track and end up with a wrong answer at the end. So you would want to have written down 57 minus 9 divided by 2. Now we're still working with parentheses because we haven't fully figured it out yet. We have to solve 57 minus 9. So when I get out my calculator and I type in 57 minus 9, I get 48. 48 divided by 2. Now I can mark my parentheses as done because I'm all done. I already took care of my exponents as part of my parentheses. That was part of that work. So I don't have any more exponents, but I do have multiplication or division. In this case, it is division. So to come up with my final answer, I'm going to pull up my calculator. I'm going to type in my problem. I'm going to say 48 divided by 2 is 24. And 24 is the answer for that problem. Now, I am doing these problems out of order. So if you want to go back and check the work that you did, you'll have to kind of hunt and pick for the answers. All right, so I'm looking here, sorry about that. We have 96 minus 6 squared. That's in parentheses. There's a division sign in the middle, and then there is 7 plus 3 in parentheses also. So when we're looking at our order of operations here, we're going to grab our pen. We're going to start with the things that are in parentheses. This time I'm going to start with my 96 minus 6 squared. Again, it doesn't matter which set of parentheses you do as long as you do them both. Now inside my parentheses, I do happen to have a 6 squared, so I need to figure out how much that is before I can go any further. I'm going to go, the 6 tells me what I'm multiplying, and squared tells me how many times. So it's going to be 6 times 6. Remember, it's not 6 times 2. It's telling us to multiply 6 together twice, 6 and 6. So it would be the same thing as 6 times 6. Well, that turns out to be 36, and I have 96 minus 36 then in my parentheses. And I'm going to divide that by, what is 7 plus 3? I know is 10. I don't need my calculator to check that out. Well, we're still working on our parentheses, so we got to continue with that problem. I got to figure out what is 96. I'm going to use my calculator. Make sure I get the right numbers, minus 36. And that is 60. So I have 60. I'm going to divide it by 10. I'm now done with my parentheses. I don't have any exponents, but I do have multiplication or division. In this case, it's division. 60 divided by 10. Well, I know that 60 divided by 10 is 6. So 6 was my answer to that problem. So we have one more problem that we're going to review, and let's take a look at that quickly. All right, so this last problem is just a little bit different than the other ones. We have 3 plus 5 in parentheses, and the squared sign is outside of the parentheses. It's not inside. Then we're adding that to 20 divided by 10. So as we go ahead and we grab our pen, we're going to see if we can solve it. We're starting with our parentheses first. So 3 plus 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. Well, now the 8 should be squared because we solved what was in the parentheses, and it's telling us we're squaring what's in the parentheses. I'm going to take that, I'm going to add it, bring down my adding sign. Now I got to figure out 20 divided by 10. That's also in parentheses. 20 divided by 10 is 2. I went ahead and now I'm done. Finished off with my parentheses. This problem does have an exponent, so that's my next step. I need to address this 8 squared. Well, if off the top of my head I don't know what 8 squared is, 8 squared would be the same thing as 8 times 8. So I can use my calculator to figure that out. Go 8 times 8 is 64. 64 plus 2. I know if I add those together, let me cross off my exponents first because I finished those. This particular problem does not have any multiplication or division, but it does have addition and subtraction. So 64 plus 2 is 66. That was the answer for the last problem there. So we're going to take a moment here. I'm going to shoot on to our next slide. All right. Well, that's all we have as far as review here today. Again, if you have any questions or you need help on working on these problems, come to the Google Meet on your distance days. If you're second hour, you report in at 10:30, fifth hour at 2:15. If you try to get in before 10:30, before 2:15, it's going to tell you to wait because it won't let you in until I actually open up the Google Meet. So if you get there around that time, just be patient, and I will be opening up the Google Meet shortly. So we'd love to have you come join us for class. You guys can be the voices from above. And again, you're just going to find that link in your Google Classroom where it says Meet Link. You'll click on that and that'll take you right into the class. One last thing. Now today's assignment is going to be worksheet number 1, but this time we're going to do all the odd questions. So 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So we're going to do all the odd questions on the worksheet number 1. If you finish that early, I am offering a challenge. I will let you guys, I'm offering a challenge. It isn't going to pop up here for me, but I have an extra credit sheet, order of operations puzzle. It's worth 7 points if you get all of them right. So hopefully some of you are brave enough to give it a try. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.